Thank you for the correction.
We have a question here. Can you speak loudly or we'll repeat it? Great.
It's quite an honor to be here with all of you. I wanted to ask about laughter. It seems to me that the Dalai Lama does a lot of that. And it seems to be part of his everyday life.
Yes.
How do we incorporate that? Is that a good thing to do? And is that part of compassion?
I mean, well, increasingly the science is showing us it's actually very good for you. But in the Buddhist tradition, there isn't any psychological theory about the importance of laughter and sense of humor. There isn't any formal discussion about it, but science is increasingly showing that it is an important part of our kind of mechanism of dealing with stress. And also there was an interesting research that showed that how in couples, heterosexual couples, in couples where the wife is able to laugh more at her husband's joke.
That's important.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said jokes. So
that apparently is a much greater chance of longevity. So it's something to keep in mind. But I think, there is, in the Buddhist tradition, a very important recognition of the role joy plays. For example, like a lot of us struggle with motivation. Like everybody makes a New Year resolution of going to the gym, gets a membership, and by the 6th, 7th week, you're feeling guilty because you've already paid money and you're not getting there, and we're all used to this. So the initial motivation to do something comes extrinsically from outside. So whether someone puts a pressure on you, or whether you already read about it in the journal, how fantastic it is, and then you choose the right moment to make the decision. So the initial motive will have to come from some other, understanding the benefits of it and so on. But in order to sustain it, then you need to find some internal, intrinsic motivation. And there's nothing more powerful than joy. Parents who have struggled with teaching their children how to ski or playing sport, tennis like this, initially there's no alternative to simply trying it. Dragging the kids. I live in Quebec, Montreal, and if you don't ski, if you can't afford it, then it's something else. But if you can afford it, if you don't ski in the winter is very, very long. But if you're able to ski, then it completely changes your attitude to the long winter. So teaching children the basic skills to be able to ski is really essential to happiness in Quebec, So the parents, as parents, we have to drag them, and sometimes in Montreal area, this temperature can drop below -20 Celsius, and then of course we don't do. But most of the time it's between -5 to -10, 15. That is still very cold.
Yes.
And children don't want to get out and go, but you have to drag them. You have to drag them for a couple of years. Then they get to a tipping point, where they start enjoying it. And then they do it with their friends. And after that, you don't have to make any effort. And that's the joy that sustains the motivation. So in that sense, joy has an important role to play in sustaining motivation, whatever we do. So, and laughter, I think, is, in some sense, part of that experience of joy. Someone like His Holiness, he laughs a lot. And he has this ability to switch modes. He will be dead serious, taking you through this very, very esoteric, fine-tuning philosophical argument in one moment, and next thing he's laughing like a kid. So this ability to shift gears, and laughter is also, I remember many years ago when I was a monk. Actually, this was during my first travel with His Holiness internationally, '87. The first stop was in Vatican. And we were at a Vatican monastery for a couple of days. And actually the first stop was in Germany, and then came Italy. And we were at the San Anselmo monastery. It's beautiful, you know, Benedictine monastery where you eat your supper in silence with this Gregorian chantings going on. It was really beautiful. By the end of the second day, and there were a couple of monks with me, attendants, and there was an American monk who's from this Benedictine monastery, and he said to me, I have watched you guys the last 2 days. You know, you Tibetan monks you look so happy, you know. You know, you laugh, and you seem to be relaxed, and he said, what is the secret? I mean, I didn't know. I've never been asked that question. And I said, well, I suppose we don't take ourselves that seriously. And looking back, I think that is the right answer.
It is.
Because, you know, those who have a good sense of humor, they have this ability to not to take themselves too seriously. And I think is important, yeah.
Good.